Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to this week's recap video. I hope you've all had a really great week. It's been a great week around here for us. A little bit slower like in the mornings because it's so cold. And like a few of these projects I did over the course of a couple days, like I would do one part of the project and then run out and finish it up when it was warmer the next day. It's kind of that time of year where you're shuffling around trying to make the most of weather. And it looks like the next 3 days we have a snow rain mix going on. But after tomorrow morning, I don't think we're supposed to dip below freezing. So I don't know what's going to happen around here, but getting some moisture is always a good thing. Let's just jump right into the videos from this past week. First one was marking tree placements, balcony garland, and putting together 2 winter containers. We also showed you the beginning of those concrete block bays that we're putting in the back of the Dirtlands to house compost and our kind of compost pile. HM536 said, will the chickens eat any of the berries in the arrangements? Probably. They might try. I don't know. I haven't seen them doing it, but you know, they were nesting in one of the containers. So yeah, they also like to walk on top of the boxwood hedging.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. So yeah, the 2 winter containers, I guess I didn't go into any detail on any of these. The 2 winter containers were the 2 low urns on the west side, kind of leading in to the back shade porch area. And I just talked about how doing it in layers, like approaching containers in layers, it always is nice to have a system sometimes to fall back on if you're not feeling especially creative or whatever. You'll get a good result if you go in with a good system. And so layering is a really good one, you know, doing your centerpiece and then having just separate layers of things. And it gives a very crisp and distinct look too to all the elements that you're using in those containers. Then the balcony garland, we took some fresh cedar garland and attached it to the balcony like we do every year. And then the tree placement was just marking where we're going to get put the trees that we're either moving or having brought in by Malad Tree Farm. And we had gone shopping for those the day or a couple days before.
I kind of thought that they were all going to be installed by now.
Yeah.
I don't really know.
They've had a really busy year, I guess.
Yeah, he said that they've sold a lot of trees and they have a lot of work to do. So good for them. I'm happy for them.
As long as they can dig a hole. I mean, we had one of ours, and the one we put all the lights on, was installed in January last year. I think last year. Yeah, it was our first plant installation of the year was like the first week of January. So Pam said, I'm constantly amazed at the change you've made in your landscape and especially amazed at the amount of work you put in daily. What a legacy you're building for your family and community. That's a really sweet thing to say. What's your biggest project in 2026? Can't wait to see what's coming next. Do we have anything slated that's big?
Well, no, not really, but there's some things in the works that could end up being next year.
Not the horse barn.
Not the horse barn.
Not the horse barn. That's not in the works.
Although, I mean...
Not for next year. I mean, even if we could do it right now, like if we were ready to do it, I mean, getting on somebody's schedule for a project like that.
We could start the process next year, potentially.
That's not on the list, though.
No, it's not really. There's that's the thing is I'm hesitant to say anything because we've got so many kind of ideas just floating around. And sometimes you're kind of like waiting for the stars to line on any one of them. And if they do, then you're like, okay, we can proceed with this idea. Right. But you don't want to say what the idea is before because sometimes you come up against a roadblock and you're like, okay, well, no big deal. We'll just do something else.
It saves a lot of explaining yourself
later on. Because you don't want to explain why you weren't able to do it.
I can say, however, we are doing a couple of inside projects this year that are not relevant to one of them might become relevant to the garden if we end up taking up a little bit of space outside the house. But like we're shifting where our laundry room is. We're putting it closer to where most of our laundry is created. I mean, like little things like that we've ignored because we have been focusing so much on outside projects throughout the last, how long have we lived here? This will mark 9 years?
10?
Maybe?
We came in 2016. So is May?
May of 2016. So need to be May of 2026 would mark 10 years, right?
I think that'll mark the beginning of 10 years.
The beginning. Either way. We've been in here for a long time.
The 10th year, right?
Yeah. And we still have curtains up from the previous owners in like at least one room. I don't know. We've just focused so much of our, budget, like 100% of our budget on outside stuff that we just haven't focused on that. So we're going to make some things inside a little bit easier on ourselves, that sort of thing. So that definitely is on the docket for sure. That project is in process right now.
Maybe the front walkway.
Oh yeah, that might happen next year. I don't know. I'm kind of like, I kind of like, I don't know, I have a little bit of my dad in me.
Yeah.
Or I just want to dig my heels in. I'm like, people, the more I get input about that,
Yeah.
the more I'm like, not going to do it. Not going to satisfy. I'm not going to do
I'm
it.
just
I
gonna
don't know
leave
why.
it. I'm going to leave it empty. Do you think that's a good quality?
No, I do not like that quality whatsoever. But like my dad and my sister and I
Yeah.
can be weirdly obstinate about some things sometimes.
Yeah.
But not always the same, like on the same vein. I don't know.
If you have like a weird feeling about the way someone is treating you or something, you'll take the contrary position, like no matter what.
Well, I don't do that like I used to. No. I used to dig in like, nope, this is my stance. And now I'm way more open-minded. And
Yeah.
I just don't care about a lot of things that I used to care about.
We joke sometimes about, I always say that life is sometimes a chess game, and it's like,
yeah, he's good at it.
Sometimes you just
You
lose
give
a
a pawn.
here or there because it's like it doesn't affect you and it puts you in a way better position. And it's true. Sometimes like you want to tell somebody off, but it's like, you know what? You kind of need that person to accomplish something that you actually really need.
Yeah.
And if you burn a bridge or whatever because it makes you feel good, you're actually making your life way more difficult.
Well, and honestly, it makes you feel good for a second. It never
Yeah.
feels good afterward. Never. It never feels good to burn a bridge.
Yeah.
So we're really careful about that. And honestly, like giving a pawn every once in a while, even though it can eat you up inside, like, oh, I don't want to give on this thing.
Right.
But in the end, it's like, I'm glad I did that.
Yeah,
That
you
was
end
the
up
adult thing to do.
Right. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, moving on. Chris Hunter said, would you ever consider giving us prices of what different projects cost? I'm always curious about what things would cost, but considering your cost might be a little different from us living in a different area of the U.S. Love what you do. It's so encouraging. I think that's the main reason why we haven't throughout the years is because things are so different. We see it in our own valley. Like the prices that my parents' garden center, for example, charges on a David Austin rose is like half of what they can get in Boise, Idaho, which is just 60 miles down the road.
Yeah.
Because the demographic is so different. I remember I had to go pick up a couple David Austin roses. That's why that example comes to mind. And I was shocked. Like, you can get that for this type of rose? And then Katie was telling us about a place like near Seattle or Portland where they were charging close to $90
For a
a
single
rose
rose
that my parents charged like low 30s for.
Yeah. And your parents probably get some flack for it too.
Yeah, they do. In our area, people are like, are you serious?
Yeah.
$30, $32.99
For a rose.
for an English rose?
It should be $3.99.
I know. So it's just crazy, the difference. It's wild.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, it's funny. Greg Whitstock, he posts a lot of stuff on the Aquascape like Facebook page and stuff like that, and they show how much it costs to put in like an aquascape ecosystem and you know the differing sizes, and of course that those include a lot of labor.
Yes.
And so prices can get out of control really quickly because you know things like that. If you've ever hired a professional to do something for you, you know that labor is like the number one expense.
Yeah.
And so, you know, some of these ponds are like $30,000 or $100,000 or $250,000. And he said that he gets all kinds of hate for posting. He's like, I don't care. I don't even care. I just want to put the number out there.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
So you kind of have to have a personality like that because you do attract, I don't know, there's like a certain group of people that just kind of like to hate and say, you know, like, oh, I could have done that way cheaper. And it's like, well, do it then.
Yeah.
Like, go. That's what he says. He's like, yeah, go build your own.
And then
pond.
I'll come fix it when you do it
Yeah,
wrong.
right.
That's what he says. Yeah.
Well, and honestly, he's like, you know, it's funny because from Greg's perspective, he just sells like the pumps and he sells all the stuff to make the pond. And you got to buy that from somewhere. And so
Right.
like chances are you might end up even buying those materials from him anyway. And so he's just kind of like, yeah, do it yourself. I'll sell you the stuff.
Right.
I'll sell you the stuff to do it yourself. You can save a ton of money on the labor, but you know, but you probably screw it up and need to hire somebody in the end anyway.
Yeah.
But I do think that there's a place I would actually like if we ever do projects where we are doing more of like a landscape at a house. If we ever do that
That's
again.
not here.
That's not here maybe.
Yeah.
It would be kind of nice to try to come up with how much it costs.
Do you remember how much Monica's was total? I want to say it was in the mid-teens. to do her entire backyard
Like
renovation.
$15,000?
Like around $15,000.
Yeah, for
to do that
plants
for
and
stones, labor, like the crew that
hiring
came
the
in.
crew, yeah.
Yeah, and then well, like we didn't include any of my labor, but I guess that doesn't count.
But does that include plants at retail or plants like what our, because you guys weren't paying full retail.
Right, you're right. But we didn't use a tremendous amount of plants.
So would
like,
it have been closer to 20?
No, not even close.
Okay.
Not even close to that. Because with that baby of a landscape
Yeah.
and that size of a landscape with the amount of plant
But
material
you
we
can
put
get
in
out
there,
of control really quick with plants. If you're paying, if you live in an area where
where it's $90
where
a
it's
rose.
$90
yeah.
for a rose, just depending on where you're getting plants and a lot of people, you can get starts from friends. You can go to garden centers. Sometimes on like Facebook Marketplace, you can find like auctions, auctions, especially toward the end of the year where it's like, I think in a lot of parts of the country, there's more like pop-up garden centers where they're just open during the summer and closed during the winter.
Right.
And so they're just trying to offload all their plants because they're not going to keep them over the winter. And I think sometimes you can score some good deals. The only problem is you just don't know what's going to be available.
Yeah.
So like if you're planning a garden, it's like, well,
Yeah.
you're kind of just getting the leftovers.
Right. Well, and no, I want to say that I think Monica bought a lot of the plants.
Oh, did she?
We provided some. Like I think I brought the North Poles.
Okay.
But I want to say that she bought most of those.
Oh.
So yeah.
Okay.
Because she had a pile of plants she was already wanting to put in
Sure,
their
yeah,
landscape.
I remember that.
So I'm thinking right now, I brought the cone boxwoods, and then the boxwoods that went in between the arbor. I brought the arbor. I think maybe a few, like a couple hostas, maybe a couple, but I think maybe it was like 60-30. Maybe I brought 30% of the plants and she got maybe 75-25. I don't know. She could probably speak to that better than I can.
Well, okay, so in terms of projects for next year, we don't have any concrete plans, but I would like to do more things like that, like more small
Field
trip
trip
makeovers.
Projects.
Because I think that's really helpful for a lot of people that have small spaces. It's certainly a lot easier to do gardening here because it's right outside our front door. And you can go to work right away and, the Bobcat is here and we can just dig a hole and you don't have to travel. You're not waiting on anything.
Right.
I don't know. It's just all the stuff is here because inevitably, like we're not set up as contractors.
No.
So, we go do that for
A
somebody
lot of
else.
work.
And it's like, oh, did we bring enough shovels or enough rakes or landscape staples or drip supplies? It's a pain in the butt.
Yeah,
but
thinking through all
I
those
still
things.
think if we could do more of those, I think that would be fun.
I think we'd hone the process too.
Yeah.
Like there's not we don't do a ton of projects off site, but there's not very many times where I find that we've been caught unaware, not bringing enough couplers or whatever. I don't think at Monica's house we had any issue. And I think I brought did I bring all the drip supplies? I don't know. I'm gonna have to ask her. I can't even remember.
Yeah.
But I did help her run drip to everything. We did all of that. We mulched. We went and got the mulch. I don't know. But it was a great project. So somewhere between 15 and 20, somewhere in there, including everything probably. Wendy said, are you going to have any shade trees for the horses? Even though they could go in the barn, ours love the shade trees. I look forward to your videos every morning, get such inspiration from you. Thank you, thank you. Yes, we are. In fact, you've talked about like several times, like we should just get some trees going in there. We can put fences around them before we ever even dream of having a horse barn or horses. Let's get some trees going. Yeah. But I am a little reluctant because I know we need to rip that soil. We need to like smooth it out. There's some great big holes, which are like the number one bad thing to have for horses out there, where the fence posts used to be, and the big concrete footers, and you can hardly see them now. And so we need to fix those kinds of things, and like getting big machinery in there. And I don't want there to be trees you have to go around. I kind of want it all smooth and like blank slate. And then we figure out and map out where all the paddock fencing is going to go, and then you can put in your trees. Yeah. But yes, there will be trees.
Do you want the trees to be like even, or do you kind of want maybe just a little bit of willy-nilly?
I don't really know for sure. It depends on the approach. If we do the approach the way that plan is, with a more formal approach, I think having it more balanced would be nice.
Okay.
But I'm open.
Yeah.
Carolyn said, your chickens running towards the kitchen door were so funny. Women, when we're on a mission, get out of the way. I do have a question. Will you continue to let your chickens out after it snows? I will let them out. Like, we'll open the door. If they want to come out, they can. We'll be keeping a pretty close eye on them. We will have to put them back in their run come gardening season next year, and that will be very hard. So like May through whenever we kind of give up on the annuals, like October.
Late October, early November.
Yeah, they'll have to be in their run. But I want to figure out something different for them in there. Like I want to have some patches of grass growing, like maybe section off part of it, let the grass come up so fast. You can have like an annual rye you put in there. You know, you'll have a nice crop in a week. Let them come in and forage that while you,
Well, you
know.
could grow. What was that grass that you were
The
growing?
trays. I'd rather do it straight in the ground,
Oh,
though,
is
where
that
I
a pain
don't
in the
have
butt?
to move stuff and I don't have to tend to anything
Yeah,
like
sure.
that. Rosemary said, where can I order fresh garland? You know, typically I just buy mine at Home Depot until this year when I got it through my mom has an account with a local, like it's DWF. I don't think that's necessarily a local company, but there's what's it called? Boise's one of their locations,
Oh.
I guess. So anyway, she can order stuff like that, and I tacked on to her order. She was ordering things for their garland and wreath making seminar, and they happened to have cedar garlands. She actually called me and said, hey, they've got cedar garlands. Do you want me to get some? I'm going to get some for our door too. And I thought, well, yeah. The difference is you're paying for 15 feet at Home Depot. These are 25. Which is awesome, especially for a double door. If you can get your hands on 25-foot garlands, you don't have to cut them, and they were really nice. So you could check with your local florist, see if they, can get something like that. Or, I've had great luck with Home Depot ones too. Same effect. Brenda said, what are the half blocks for in the 2 bays? Remember at the end of that day, they still had the 2 blocks just kind of sitting there. They're putting together like
those are like
Legos.
half blocks, and those are going to be used because if you do it like Tetris, you need some half blocks in order to make it work.
Yeah. So now it's complete.
Because you're
now.
offsetting them.
Right.
So you don't set like a block and then the same block on top of that block. You offset it one, so you're going to be off by a half block in 1 or 2 areas.
We can show it now that it's done again.
It's not done.
Oh, it's not.
No, he needs one more load.
Oh, okay. Well, once it's all done, I'll show you guys what it looks like.
I feel like in that video we talked a long time without like really explaining what the whole thing was even for.
Oh, I thought we did.
I mean, I think we did, but
Want to say your piece?
no,
Oh.
I think we got it. I think we
Okay.
said it.
Carolyn said, do you and Aaron ever race your carts ever? I can picture you doing that though.
Yeah, we do
have,
sometimes.
yeah. But
They're
whoever's
so slow.
Yeah, whoever's in the gator will lose.
Yeah.
Whoever's in the golf cart will win for sure. That one can get up to like
It's like twice as fast.
yeah. And those are the type we can have it be street legal with, it's got the seat belts and all of that. And the gator's more for like putzing around the property.
Yeah.
And I love it though, because when Benjamin's like, hey, I want to go to wherever to look for birds, can I take a gator? Sure. You can't go very fast.
Yeah.
He's so conscientious too.
He is.
Like he'll go with Samantha and I have no fear
Yeah.
whatsoever. I love that the kids are growing up that way. That's like really important to
You
me.
know what? Those kinds of things I think are really helpful in the future too for just learning how to drive because you're behind a gator that just goes slow,
Yeah.
but you're learning how the wheel works, and so I think when it comes time for him to learn how to drive, he'll be like, "Oh, I got this."
Well, I think it's a confidence builder too. Like having parents that feel like I don't have to helicopter him doing
Yeah.
that. He just does
We
it.
helicopter our kids in some ways, though. I think a
Yeah.
lot of parents do.
Yeah, we do, but in other ways.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, you can grow up the way I did a little bit.
Yeah.
Brooke said, wait, was that an indoor white extension cord Laura is using outside? Is that okay to do? I don't know. I used 2 hooked together. I didn't show that part because I thought, oh, someone's going to get like over the connection. I don't know.
Yeah.
I could have got an exterior one, I suppose, if we have any issues with it.
It's under cover though, right?
Not really.
Oh.
But it's on the balcony, so it's
Oh.
going to be protected from most of the moisture because it's closer up to the
Yeah.
house. So,
I mean, I don't think anything's gonna like burn down.
no. Okay, next video was decorating the portico for Christmas. I love how that project turned out. It was kind of like, let's just get into this and like see what happens because I had not prepared a single thing. I knew I had a couple of pine trees. In fact, the day before or something, I had asked Paul, like, I think I have 2 matching trees in the loft. When you're up there, would you mind grabbing those and bringing those over the portico? And he texted me like, you don't have trees that match left. And I thought, oh, I do too. I'm going to go up there and look. I'm for sure I've got 2 up there. And sure enough, Paul's right. And I had 2 pines that were 6.5 feet, but they weren't the same diameter. They weren't the same kind. But I thought, well, let me just put them up and see what happens because I've kind of reached my limit-ish with Christmas decor. I just thought, let's just put together something with what we have. We have plenty up in the loft. We can put together something that's festive. Doesn't matter if it's perfect, but I think it turned out really nice with the cedar garland around the door, 2 lit Christmas trees that you guys moved. Well, you had to move the pots twice.
Yeah.
In and out.
Well, just kind of out of the way and then back.
And then back in. Yeah. You guys are always really nice to like jump right in and help with that. But I think that really elevated the look of the Christmas trees to have them in concrete pots rather than just sitting on the ground. We ended up bringing out the nutcrackers, which I'm not sure we've ever used here. We used them at Alyssa's house one year, Aaron's sister's house. But I'm not sure that we had them. Do we have them out? We had them inside one year, I think.
Yeah.
Next to the nutcracker tree. Anyway, it turned out festive. Mark said, I love it all, especially the nutcrackers. Where did you get those? Somebody sent them to us. I think it was Stephanie, maybe? Stephanie, was it you? I think it was. Anyway, they showed up one year, and we've had them for 3-4 years at this point.
They're fun.
I love it. I love having stuff like that. You don't have to use them every year, so it makes it fun and fresh to kind of rotate them in and out of your decor. So I am not sure where she got those. MDM NYC 41 said, I'm inspired now to do my front door area. What brand of stepladder are you using? I think that was a Gorilla.
Oh, yeah.
The black one with
They
the flip
sent
up.
us
The
several.
full suite. Of ladders. Long time ago.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Remember? And then we did a cart. We had all their carts out in the back.
Yeah.
The north garden before the pond was there. And went through all of the pros and cons and like different features of all their carts.
Was Gorilla Cart its own company, or was that owned by someone else that we were working with?
I don't know.
Maybe they were their own company.
I'm not sure. That seems that was before Benjamin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gorilla Carts do work really well.
They do.
We don't
Yes.
work with them.
No. No, but that's a great step ladder. I love the tray on the top. That one that flips up or down.
Yeah.
I use it a lot. Suma said, love the decorations, Laura. I'm very surprised on how the kids play by themselves. Do you tell them beforehand not to disturb you while recording? I look forward to your videos every day. The only direction I ever give them is if they're playing near me and I'm needing to talk on camera, like if I'm doing an intro or an outro, I'll ask them like, hey, can you guys go play over there? Or can you just keep the chatter to a minimum so it's not super loud? And it's not that it would pick up in my mic, but it distracts me because I'm trying to like half listen to what they're doing and half, be engaged with what I'm doing. And they comply like, yeah. They're great. Great to have around, and they just kind of pop in and out as they want to. Bev said, have you looked into getting some leg clamps that you can color for the chickens so you can name them? Beautiful job on the portico. I haven't. I didn't even really think that.
Oh, yeah, you could do that, I suppose.
I
Just
don't think I
different
could do it.
colors or-
It'd make me claustrophobic for them. I can't wear
Yeah.
anything on me. It makes me feel claustrophobic, and then I project that onto other things.
Yeah.
Like that would drive me crazy. I can't do that. I can't do that. I wonder what they would do with that.
Probably be
If I had leg
fine.
clamps, I'd have to have a color-coded chart in my pocket because I would forget what their names were either way.
You could name them like something about the colors.
I guess like a purple clamp would be a name that started with P.
Yeah.
The kids kind of have them named, but I think it changes.
Yeah, because you can't tell them apart.
Yeah. Waterfall FW said, Samantha's haircut is super cute with her little but thick braid. I was wondering if you would use the nutcrackers. I'm glad you did. It looks so good. Do the chickens poop on your porch and walkways? Yes. Aaron's face.
It's the worst.
Does it just blow away or do you have to hose it down? Both. Twice I've gotten out. I have a wire brush that's dedicated now. It's a chicken poop brush. And I'll get out with the hose, and I like the ones that get kind of stained or stuck to the concrete. I'll just elbow grease them off and hose them away. And it's not hard. It's not a hard thing to do. Most of them that are like more dry, it's so gross, but you can blow them away with the blower, and it's okay. But yeah, they poop everywhere. But for me, it's like, I don't know. It just brings such a magical feel that I love. I love that. I love having animals running around.
Yeah.
Janice said, are you putting a tree on the balcony? Not this year. Thought about it. It is a pain when you put them up there because, oh my goodness, to get them weighted down, I would have to figure out a different method.
It always ends up falling, and
Yeah.
it's a pain in the butt.
And honestly, the ones I've put up there before, I have to put extra lights on them. And you guys, I've set up, let me count how many trees I've set up. Okay, so I've got 9 trees set up, 8 of which are like full-size trees. 1 is like a 3-foot tabletop tree. And then I've got 1, 2, 3 like mini trees, but you still have to set them up and put lights on them and put ornaments on them. And then we have the 2 trees in the portico. I don't know if you count those or not, but I did set them up and they do have ornaments. So we have a lot of trees going on this year. Yes. And you will see this next week decorating the mantle. I usually do little trees, or have for the past couple of years, and I went a different direction. And I'm kind of, because I was just kind of done putting lights on trees and setting up trees, and I don't know, I'm pretty much done, other than whatever I feel like or want to do to add to it. It's awesome. Awesome. Like our last project happened like the 2nd or 3rd day of December, and then we just get to enjoy it. And by December 25th, I will be sick of it and ready to take it all down, all of it. Everything looks so dark though after you take it down.
Yeah.
It, like, you want lamps everywhere in your house now.
But it feels good because I don't know, you just need, it's like a spring cleaning sort
You
of.
just clear it out and you have room to breathe in that negative space.
Yeah. Then you have room for activities.
That's true. Janika said, I've watched Laura from the beginning, and every year she makes many red bows. What happens with them? Do they disappear like socks in the laundry? Sometimes they get really ratty when they're outside, and some of them I just have to pitch because the ribbon is just not nice anymore. But like all the red bows that I used to not adhere the garland on the balcony, but like to dress up the balcony garland, those were all from 5-6 years ago that I made. And I do have more of that exact same ribbon upstairs in totes that I could have used for the portico, but I didn't have enough of it. I knew I kind of wanted to do like a big thing all the way down. I knew I didn't have enough of it to make it that far, but I had bought this roll, 4-inch roll, which, oh, I should do that every year. 4-inch roll of red velvet ribbon. I bought it on Amazon, and it's a super big roll. And so I've used it for the gate wreaths, for the mail house, for the whole portico, for the kitchen entrance, and I still have some left on the roll. And I think it was the right scale. Like the other ribbon was a little bit smaller. So I do typically keep bows and ribbons as long as they stay nice enough to keep. Robert said, love the garland, but now your doorbell is inaccessible.
You know what? They don't really get used now that we have a gate.
That's true. We don't use them very much.
So, I mean, yeah, for anyone else, you'd have to like cut around it, I guess, or whatever.
I did for our kitchen. You can still like halfway see through the kitchen.
It used to bother me in the past, but yeah, now that and we have so many other cameras.
Yes, for somebody to get that far out of the property,
to
that door, you would be alerted a million years before that.
We don't have people coming to the door ever anymore that we don't already know or is on the property.
Yeah. Joy said, did I see you break a rule and not change the garland angle at the corners so the boughs don't hang down? Good catch. I'm all in for next year for a double too. So what I did, so usually, with the cedar garlands, they're all made in one direction. So if you go up one side of the door and all the garlands hanging down beautifully, and then on the top it looks good, but when it comes down the other side, it's now wanting to fall like it's upside down, right? So usually I cut it right there and then flip the garlands the other way and then just adhere it again, which is a little bit more squirrely to do. But when you're doing a double garland, double thickness, you can just go the whole distance. One side looks a little wonky, but then you just do the opposite and do the next one hanging down nicely. And then you can tuck the bad one toward the back, and it just adds extra thickness and extra fluff. But you don't notice that it's not going the right direction. It was easy and so nice to do it that way. Okay, next video is winter container 6. 3 sets of containers, and I tried to make them all look a little bit different. So we started with the ones up by the portico that still had beautiful rudbeckia, and then we saved all the plants. They're in the high tunnel right now. And I ended up doing curly willows, fir boughs, princess pine, seeded eucalyptus, and then we gathered up some limelight hydrangea blooms and painted them, which I've never done before, and popped them in, and I think they look really pretty. Second set were the 2 on the outer part of the Persephone garden that had the round sort of trellis situation going. So we hung this like starburst light thing, which I didn't realize. Like there's different settings for it, and some of them are like they flash like crazy, and then some of them are really nice and gentle. And then there's the static one, which is kind of what I would go for. And they reset every time they turn on. So every day when they turn on, I'd either have to run out and redo it or just let them run through their demo cycle, which is what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
So we get like the best of all 7 worlds that they offer. But I ended up using some magnolia and some winterberry hollies in those containers, and I think they look pretty. And then the last set were the ones by the arbor, by the stone path, sort of by the Persephone garden. They were all relatively close to one another, and that one I just did kind of a wild mix of stuff. Arctic fire yellow dogwoods, which we went and cut out in the garden, and then I didn't use any fir boughs, which made this one look a little bit different because fir boughs add such structure and such weight. I used only incense cedar, princess pine, and holly leaves. So it's a little bit more like finely textured and wispy and really pretty. I like how it turned out. Julie said, the sprayed hydrangeas are gorgeous in the containers. Great idea. Hey, are you and Aaron pulling out the gigantic light balls you created last year? I hope so. Can't wait to see the whole light show this year. We did not.
We haven't yet. I still kind of feel like we need to go down there and get them because we can store them here now. So in the course of the next couple weeks, I feel like I'll go get them. And if I can salvage them, we might still throw them out. And if not, then we'll just probably take them apart and use the lights somewhere else.
They're not exactly round anymore. They're
No,
like
they're
a
not.
deflated balloon sort of
Yeah.
situation. I don't know why. Maybe they just came apart or maybe they cracked apart. Who knows?
Yeah, the PVC flexes a little bit too much.
Yeah. Linda said, can't wait to see the light tour. Are you decorating the new front gate? So we did make some wreaths to put up there, but that's pretty much it. I don't want to do too much up there because there's a lot going on. There's a lot of elements, and I think it would be really easy to overdo it up there. But we've got the brick columns, which are huge, and then the mail house, and those two things right there like makes me not want to put any lit deer or any kind of structural thing. I think it'd just be a little bit too much. I think what would be real pretty is if we end up finding the perfect plant to go where we staked in the middle of the hydrangeas, if we could floral wrap like two things that are multi-branched.
Oh, yeah.
That would be really pretty. But I want whatever is up there to be a little bit more subdued and let the architecture, what's there, kind of be the shining moment, even in the wintertime. Mel said, absolutely gorgeously festive. I love all the pots. Will they last throughout the winter? They will. I have some cut branches in my pots outside and hoping they look nice for a while. They usually last. I mean, we're in zone 6. They usually last for a long time for us, looking really, really nice. So hoping that yours do too. Sandy said, where did you source the Maryland Rudbeckia? I got those through my parents' garden center, and I want to say that they ordered them through Walla Walla. I might be wrong, but I think they got them through Walla Walla, which is a wholesale grower out of Walla Walla, Washington. Marisol said, beautiful containers. Random question, will you be decorating a live tree this year? If so, could you show how you string your lights on a live tree? Every year I dread stringing lights because it's always so tedious and time consuming. I recently saw a video of when you decorated a live tree for the Hartley where you put the lights on the tree, but it was fast forward and I couldn't quite see how you put the lights on the tree. You made it seem so easy. It's not. It's tedious. And it's one of the reasons why I don't do live trees. There's just a lot of work. They're a lot of work. They're a lot of mess. And I don't want to have to water. So them watering is probably the main thing.
Well, once you decide that you want multiple trees, then it's like, okay, well, I can't have multiple live trees.
You just pray that the lights turn on every year on the artificial ones
Yeah.
that you have. Which the one in the great room, it's like teetering on the edge of not working.
Is that a Balsam Hill?
Yes,
Name.
I know.
Do you think they're really worth
No.
just go get a Home Depot one?
Yes. I mean, unless you don't put very much on your tree. If you like seeing, and I do like the structure of trees, that vintage tree I bought, 100% worth it. But that wasn't Balsam Hill pricing either. I mean, it was one of the pricing of one of the lower end balsam trees out there. But I love the structure of that one. I love it. So if you are big on the structure or shape of the tree, which I do like our Balsam Hills shapes, we've got 2 of the Biltmore spruce and then 1 of the Sanibel spruce, and I like both of those really well. But the lights, I mean, they don't give you the option to buy replacement lights, which is so lame. They should offer, if you buy a tree, they should offer a way for you to relight sections that are not working with lights that will match the rest of it. That just seems like the good business thing to do. I don't know. Gay said, wow, those are huge pine cones. What type of tree do they come from? A sugar pine, right? We don't have them here. Those were sent to us. Sugar pine tree. Is that what they're actually called? Let me look. The sugar pine, Pinus lambertiana, is the world's tallest and largest pine tree. Native to the mountain forests of California, Oregon, and Mexico, it's known for not our part of Oregon. It is known for its long cones, which can reach up to 24 inches.
Whoa!
That's a huge pine cone. And its sweet resinous sap, which was traditionally used for food and medicine. Sugar pines are also a valuable timber source and provide important food for wildlife. 250 feet tall with a trunk size of 10 feet wide.
I'll bet it wants acidic soil.
Oh yeah, it wants the western side of the state for sure, but that's interesting. Steven said, big fan. Now, how long will those hydrangeas last? Does the paint make them last longer? I'd like to see them in chartreuse, blue purple, and antique white. I'd watch a whole episode of this stuff. This is the first time I've done it, so we'll see what happens. So far, they look awesome out there. We have had rain since they've been out, and they've held up great. In fact, those dried blooms, they've already held up to quite a lot earlier this fall, too. So
they should stay.
They should stay fine, I would imagine. I mean, I don't know if the paint will bleed or what will happen once we get snow. I mean, time will tell, but I can let you guys know. Like maybe we'll do a destruction video in the late winter, early spring and just take a look and see how they have fared. Martina said, "Hi Laura, you're doing great work. Can you repot the old plants you pulled out? Hello from a chilly Ireland." Yes, you can. And I'm doing that with all of them that we can repot that still have life in them or those that are perennials. So in this video project, I just put them all in our big Gorilla cart and wheeled them to the high tunnel and watered them in. So they're just still sitting there. I haven't made it back out there to repot them. We'll do that together on a crummy weather day. Barb said, "Have you ever grown seeded euc or had experience with growing it?" I have not. I've tried eucalyptus from seed. Fair luck with that. But seeded eucalyptus, I don't know if that's like it's like a male or female eucalyptus, or if it's a different type. I don't know because we don't grow it here. Annie said, "Do you ever use solar powered Christmas lights?" No. I didn't even know there was some.
Yeah.
I don't know how that would work in most places where they're not getting a lot of sun in the wintertime.
Right. Like
today is beautiful and sunny out there, but the rest of this forecast looks just overcast, cloudy. I don't know if we're going to have any sun. I'm going to go outside and soak it in today. Yorkie said, "Could you get some of the curly willow branches to root and plant in the back of the Dirtlands or Red Barn?" Probably. Some of those might root in. I mean, they were fairly fresh. I did not make fresh cuts though, and I don't know if that's going to even matter for those. We'll see. I don't know. Willows are one of those things it's a commitment of a tree. We now have 3 weeping willow trees. You have to treat them with a systemic insecticide every year or they will get borers. It's not a question of if, it's when. They will get them. They are messy in windstorms, that kind of thing. They drop branches all the time. So it's one of those things, I don't know. The curly willow that was here when we moved in had spider mites so bad every year that it was a nice thing to have it removed.
Yeah, I wonder if the mites were even because of the systemic.
It could have been, yeah. The systemic is usually an imidacloprid-based treatment, and imidacloprid makes mites a power bug. I don't know. They do not. It's more of a stimulant than it is a killer for those. Next video was finishing the Christmas lights plus a Christmas light tour. And the experiment that Aaron ran on that tree with all the lights, it's my favorite tree on the entire property.
We're going to do that. We're going to do a bunch of that next year.
Everywhere.
I want to combine, even just if you do blue and red or red and green or white and, teal, whatever. Mm-hmm. Just do multiple colors on a tree. I don't know why I didn't really think of that before.
So much better than color blocking.
Yeah.
I especially do not like red color blocks, and we have one tree that's red. I'm like, ugh, can we go put some lights up on it, some other lights, because that's just it's too much red. I don't mind the blue and teals and greens and purples and pinks and things, but
also I think that draping some of them is good.
Yeah.
So not having them all go the same way, but try to
Yeah, it's that bright pure white and that bright hot pink. So pretty.
Yeah.
Desiree said, "This is the video I look forward to the most each year. I love your outside Christmas lights. I think I've asked before, would you consider putting together a video of each year's outdoor lights into one longer video? Would it be different enough, do you think?"
Not really. I mean, I will say that the trees along the lane grew. Yeah. And they are taking a lot more lights now than what they used to. So those, just the lane, it eats up a lot of lights.
When Aaron said he wanted to do multi in those trees, I was like, I didn't know, I didn't know if I would like it because I'm such a warm white Christmas light person, and that's how I was raised. We never did colorful lights growing up. They do colorful lights now. But I was just like, that's going to be a lot of multicolored lights. I don't know. And it's just the best thing ever. It's so pretty.
You got to trust me.
I know. Yep. Don of D said, "So magical. How do you do the swooping lights down the lane? Thank you for sharing your Christmas magic." So I found these little shepherd's hooks that are shorter than big tall ones that you would hang a hanging basket or a bird feeder or whatever on. They're I think 28 or 30 inches tall. Do you remember? Maybe they're 28 inches tall once you step them into the ground. They still have they're metal, and they have a little step that you can step down in the ground, and then they come up with a little hook. I thought, you know what? It'll be an investment up front, but if we could have those on hand and just use them every year. For us, having the driveway lined when it's snowy outside is so nice. And that's, you didn't even love the look of the lights once they were on because you thought they may be distracted from the trees a little bit. But for practicality purposes, having those lit so it's like a runway for us, we can see where the lane is. And for other people driving around our lane, that's going to be so nice.
Yeah, I do wish, you can get taller shepherd's hooks, but they just get so expensive when you start buying them in large quantities because you need a lot of them
Yeah.
for our lane. And it's kind of hard to justify like,
So you would want the swoops higher.
yeah, I think so. And
I like 'em.
higher and farther apart, maybe like half as many. So maybe it would have been, I don't know.
Don't think about it too hard.
Don't think
We're
about it.
already all in on the shorter ones. I love the
They
way
look
they
good.
look.
They
I
look
love
good.
it. Gail said, most stunning and elegant light display I have ever seen. Beautifully done. How long does it take to accomplish this? Well, actually shorter than it has in years past, because in years past, it's been like a couple people working on it for many weeks. This time around, we had a lot of people helping. We had multiple people helping, and not all at the same time, but like Aaron and I would pop in and out to do our projects. Paul would help here and there. Just people would come in and out. So it took about 10 days total, right? Maybe
Yeah.
a week to 10 days.
But people
Right
weren't
around in
working
there.
on it necessarily the whole time.
No,
during
it was
that.
like a block of time during the day, like maybe 5 or 6 hours one day, and then maybe not the next day, and then maybe like
Yeah.
6 hours the next day. So I don't know how many hours.
It was a good, I
total.
mean, if you count everybody that helped with it and added up all the hours, I don't know actually, but it's a good amount of hours
Yeah.
put into it.
But it was nice that it didn't string out so long this year. And it was very nice for Paul because Paul hates Christmas lights. He doesn't hate the look of them. He hates messing with them and putting them up. And he's so valuable to us, and he does such a good job that we want to avoid giving him something he hates doing for like a month out of his whole entire year. Like that sucks.
It's
So,
tough too because the time that Christmas lights need to go up, especially this year, there's so much other stuff that needs to be done as well.
Winterizing. He's done a lot of that while lights were being worked on. He had time to do that.
Like hose links need to be
Yeah.
all blown out and put away. Fountains need to be, cleaned out and put away.
Yeah.
And then all the leaves too.
Yeah.
So there's a lot going on all at the same time.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Marcy said, stunning display. How many worked on the lights this year? Just answered that. How many strands do you plug in together? The recommended 2 or more. These are
Oh.
LEDs, so you can go a long ways.
that's from a long time ago.
Like incandescent.
Yeah. Well,
rules?
yeah, incandescent, you're not supposed to do more than 3, but with LEDs, you can do, I think they say, some of them say like 30, some say 70, but in the same way that when the incandescents were prevalent and you could do like 5 or 6 before you started blowing fuses, I think it's the same with the LEDs, that like if they say 70, you could actually do like 140 before you start having issues.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Dang.
But you know what? We don't have anything that's crazy because like all the trees along the lane, it's an extension cord and then a splitter and then the tree and then another extension cord and then a splitter and the tree. So it's like, it's not like you're doing every tree is connected. Does that make sense? It's like,
Sure.
it's connected to the
It's
main supply.
not a continuous.
It's not a continuous line. There's just a series of splitters. And so each tree takes like 10 to 15 lights or whatever it is.
So with incandescents, you say that you can't do more than 3. What happens if you do more? Do
You
they
start
just
blowing,
fuses?
fuse.
Is that the worst that can happen?
Yeah, you'll blow a fuse, or you'll blow a fuse. You're not gonna trip breakers.
Okay.
I don't think.
I remember when I used to do incandescents on our Christmas trees inside, I would use 5 to 7 strands.
Yeah, and they'd start to
Incandescent.
have
all
issues.
no, I didn't have issues.
Oh,
but
well,
I
sometimes
worried.
just depending
I
on the-
stressed, like I'm gonna start a fire. Like I'd just kind of be
Yeah,
like, oh, a little sheepish. I think a couple of years I did run an extra extension cord to do half, so I do like 3 and 4.
Yeah.
Oh, didn't have too many issues though. Sherry said, "Magical, great job, all of you." Is that Laura playing the piano? I told Aaron, I'm like, I told him first of all, I don't know if this music is Christmassy enough, but it was very pretty, very beautiful song, and Aaron said he loved it, so we just went with it. And I said, we're gonna get all kinds of comments wondering if that's me playing the piano. It was
Yeah.
not. It was not me playing the piano. But sure enough, I was reading through some of the comments, and
but
there was
we're
quite a
working on
number of
it.
them.
We're gonna do
We're
it.
working on it.
I'm working on Laura.
Blue Roni said, okay, now I see why I don't care for the lights on the trees. They circle around and go randomly, not really showing the structure of the actual tree, but the drape. That's where it's at. For me, anyway. Looks tons better. Great job. See, that's the fun part about experimenting, because I thought the same thing. Well, I thought something completely different than what you were going to attempt with that tree. I thought you were just going to grab whatever lights came next and just pop like a green strand to a pink strand and to a multi-strand, and it was just going to be
Why
this.
would you think that?
I don't know. I don't know why. But I didn't, because I guess I didn't think we had enough lights of any kind to make it all the way around the tree every
Sure.
single time. I thought you were just using leftovers.
I just figured that if we have 3 strands of something, that we'll just get around. We'll just go from the bottom to the top with 3 strands, even though you're only going to make it around
Sure.
like twice. But my goal was to get top to bottom of everything that we had.
Yeah.
Whatever color that happened to be.
Yeah. But it's true. The drape was where it's at. That's what really made that tree look beautiful. And then it makes the ones that just go around kind of almost disappear because
Yeah.
you see the drape more than you see this kind
Yeah.
of action. I don't know, but I agree with you. Debbie said, why don't you start from the top versus the bottom? I don't
Well,
know.
because you have to plug it in at the bottom.
Oh, I suppose.
Well,
Yeah.
you don't have to, but like I would fully recommend putting the lights on while they're plugged in so that you can make sure that if half your strand is out or you just run into an issue, you want to know about it.
Yeah.
You don't want to find out that your first strand is bad after you're done with the tree.
Right. You know, when I put lights on Christmas trees, I start at the bottom and I go top. Even if I'm floral wrapping, I go to
Oh.
the top and then I come back down and I go to the top so I don't have to keep ringing around the tree a million times.
Yeah.
I used to do it that way, and what a pain. If you're doing it up and down, they're still all connected to one another, but then you're just standing up and squatting down and then standing up, and it's a much more gentle process. Nana said your lights are just breathtaking every year, so magical for the kids and for everyone. Thanks for sharing. I think Erin's idea with the tree lights created a vintage look to match your vintage tree in the house. Happy holidays.
Yeah, kind of almost did.
Yeah, and actually I told you the other day I'm going to order some pink bulbs, I think, too, from True Tone. That's the colorful lights I put on the vintage tree inside, and that clinched it for me. Seeing the pink on that tree out there, I just love it. I think adding a few pink bulbs in would be nice.
On that tree?
On the tree inside.
Oh, okay.
So it's like a
Sure.
little closer to what that
Yeah,
one
yeah,
looks
yeah.
like. I love it so much.
Before you do that, you should try some of our pink bulbs that we have on the store just to see if they are the right.
I want them to
shade.
be the exact shade of like that go with the True
But
Tone
are
set.
they? Because they're already LED.
Well, maybe I will order. So mine on the tree, the True Tones look different from our LED multis,
Yeah.
like by a long shot.
Maybe next year we need to have it. True Tone on
Yes.
the website. Problem is, if we had that, like, did you say how much they cost per strand?
They're $65 a strand. It's
Yeah.
insane. It is. But they are LED, will last for however long LEDs last most of the time. You get a lot of years out of them.
Yeah.
And I was ordering such a few amount. It wasn't like for our house or for any
Yeah.
outdoor projects. So I felt like not okay about it, but that was my Christmas splurge this year, was the whole vintage sort of situation that we have going on
Yeah.
in there. And I've tried to just utilize our other things that we already have on hand for everything else.
Sure. Yeah. I'm not weird about how much you spend on those lights because I think it's great.
You
I
just
it
think the
looks
pink
good.
that we have is the
No,
similar?
I just think that if we were going to try to sell them for $65
Oh,
a box, I
yeah.
feel like we would get some serious heat.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. You know what though? If you come at things honest and be like, these are really expensive. Most people aren't going to buy them. We understand that, but they do look the best. We've tried out a lot of different LEDs,
Yeah.
and if you want, I mean, they look the best objectively. Like it's not.
If that's what you're going for.
If that's what you're going for, yeah. If you want the true vintage look, that's the way you need to go. Otherwise, I don't know. Do you guys have any other brands that aren't as expensive as True Tones that look like?
What it is that when you look at just regular LED lights that are not True Tone, from a distance, it looks like there's purple in there, even though there's not. And so somehow the blue and red, maybe, whatever it is on the color wheel, it's like it's giving off a purple vibe. But with the True Tones, for whatever reason, they do not give off a purple vibe from a distance when you're just kind of like scanning the room and
It's
looking
a
at
warm.
the lights.
It's a
It's
warm.
way more warm. I don't know why it gives off the new
Yeah.
stuff gives off kind of a purple vibe, even though purple isn't a color. It's
The
not a
blue
bulb.
is just much more, it's much more cool.
Maybe.
For sure. And I don't really want to go incandescent. So I don't want vintage lights that are incandescent. I do still want to stay LED. And I think that's where you get into the cost to get them to look like that, which I
Yeah.
don't know why. Like, why are they so much more expensive? But even the wires on these lights look vintage. They're not like real tight, like it's the color green you're normally used to. They're like a lighter color, and they're like two wires that are kind of loose.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's just a different feel to them completely. All right, guys. The last group of questions is from last week's recap video. We were one video shy because of Thanksgiving for this recap. Give Grace said, are you able to link or shout out your GI highlights in the main channel more? I started watching your main channel years and years ago, and I remember I randomly learned about GI highlights sometime later and was like, whoa, what have I been missing this whole time? I wonder if others are missing out too. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm
maybe.
horrible at self-promotion. I don't like it. I don't like talking about or trying to sell things, or that's hard for me.
Ken and I talked about what if every once in a while, maybe like once a week on our main channel, what if at the end of the video's done, it's over, people can click out if they want, but maybe we promote other things that are going on or let people know about other things, like the highlights channel. Like maybe you come on and it's like a canned thing that's like,
Oh,
would you hate that?
I wouldn't do that.
Well, it just lets people know that, like, hey, if you didn't know,
It's
we
the
have
canned things.
Oh.
Canned things, like I like things to be like real. And
But the video's over. It's just it's
Yeah.
informational. You're just letting people know, hey, if you didn't know, we have a second channel where we
it still
do a
flavors.
recap
It
of the.
still flavors the vibe, and I don't like that.
Yeah,
I
sure.
don't like seeing it on other people's.
Well,
things.
here's the other thing: is that like store announcements or things that we have going on that I think a lot of people would want to know about.
I'd be curious to know what your opinions are. Honestly,
Yeah. Again, it's like at the end of the video. The video's done. It just then would go into like an announcement, like maybe once a week. There's an announcement about a new thing that's on the store, or maybe it's about our recap videos, letting people know. Essentially, trying to fix this question
yeah.
or this statement of like, hey,
Well,
I
I
didn't
wouldn't
actually
mind
even know.
saying like we have every once in a while saying we have a highlights channel. If you guys don't know, where we do gather questions and answer questions. If you're interested in that,
So leave a question down below, and
yeah, we
you
might
know.
pick it. I don't pick the questions, but
Yeah.
it might get selected to be answered in a highlights. That's just how this whole highlights channel and the recap videos has been our solution to answering questions, because it just got to be a lot, and there was in the beginning I had time. Well, I didn't have kids at that point in time. We had a lot smaller yard and we had a lot fewer people watching our stuff, a lot fewer questions and comments, and so it was easier to get in and comment on everybody's stuff. And then it got to a point where I didn't want anybody else doing it. That has been something that has been suggested to me too. I don't want anybody else's voice trying to act like it's mine.
Now there's AI solutions for it,
Yeah.
where you can have
won't do that.
Yeah.
For sure. So we thought if there was one time a week we could kind of gather some of the most asked questions together, that would kind of ease that sort of situation. I don't know.
Also, it's
I
kind
don't
of
know, it's helped.
it's a good opportunity for us, even if people didn't ask the question. Sometimes it's a good opportunity for us to like defend a decision we made in a video.
Yeah, or be like, well, I meant to say that in the video and I forgot to say it. I'm really sorry. That was
Yeah.
a misstep on my part. There's been several of those where
Yeah.
I just haven't fully explained myself, or times when I'm like, that's how I want to do it. So that's what,
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah, it does provide an opportunity for that.
Sure.
Yeah. Sharon said, why don't you guys sing and play a Christmas carol? 'Tis the season. I was playing some last night.
Yeah.
I actually Aaron got me all set up with a tablet. I think it's your tablet, isn't it?
Well, yeah. It's a one that I don't use. It's one of like the big ones. We did use it for some projects where you would draw landscapes and stuff, but Benjamin dropped it, and so the corner of it is like black. And I was kind of like, I didn't really want to keep using it because it's broken.
Perfect for me.
I didn't have Apple Care or whatever on it. But yeah, so then I was like, this would make probably a pretty good, what do you call it?
Sheet music.
Sheet music.
Yeah, so I have the Music Notes app, and he got me a pedal that connects to that, so I can turn the pages using the pedal on the floor.
It's like a Bluetooth pedal.
So awesome. So I can get on, and I'll occasionally get on. Like last night, I think I bought 4 or 5 songs to play, and I don't do that all the time, but I'll just get a whim and think like, let me see if I can find a different version of this song, or you wanted me to learn a specific song last night that you've been listening to. And so I did that. Anyway, yeah, I was playing last night. Hold on just one second. Samantha just tried to FaceTime me. Okay, so I'm going to let you go so we can get finished, okay?
Okay.
Love you. Bye. Oh, you guys, last night, so when I was playing the piano last night, Samantha was in there and she was like messing around behind me, and she likes to get behind the chairs, like to hide, I don't know, and like climb over the back of chairs and sneak around and stuff. So she went behind a chair in like the most remote corner of our house. There was a hornet on the ground. She got stung on the bottom of her heel, on the bottom of her foot. In
By a
December,
hornet?
inside the house.
Yeah.
It was our first bee sting ever. So we were like, looking over her after that happened. She
It
woke up.
hardly even was
It swelled up a little bit, and I
Yeah.
had like some sting spray that I sprayed on her, and it kind of eased it. I let her watch funny cat videos on my phone, which that's the ticket for her. The
Yeah.
art of distraction is big. So I was holding her, cuddling her, and she was watching funny cat videos, and every once in a while she'd look at me and You know, and but we were watching it pretty close, and she woke up completely fine this morning.
She forgot about it.
What are the odds?
Yeah.
It was a giant horn. I have a picture of it on the floor in the house.
When she was crying, I told her, I was like, Samantha, it's going to burn for a little bit, maybe like an hour, and then it's just going to go away. Trust me. She was like, is it going to hurt when it burns? I was like, no, it's burning right now.
Right? Yeah. Oh, I felt so bad for her. Rochelle said, you mentioned times in your life when things didn't happen the way you wanted, but later being glad they didn't. Would you care to share some examples of that? Yes. So we offered on a house.
Yeah.
At one point in time.
That you can almost see from this house.
And I think we offered only $5,000 less than the asking price.
Yeah. So it was going for 150.
I thought it was 146.
Yeah.
I think that was standing out in my
It might have been
mind.
146 and we offered like 141 or something like that. I mean, can you even believe that?
Yeah. I'm so glad they did. I mean, $5,000 at that price, like most people would try to compromise.
They didn't even counter.
No.
You know, a lot of times you'll offer a little bit less and they'll come back and say like, well, I'll give you 2,000 off or, whatever.
Yeah.
They'll just they'll meet you in the middle. But this was like, no. They just rejected the offer. So we moved along, but it was right before the downturn, right?
Yeah.
I think we would have been stuck in that house. Because housing prices it didn't do well in 2008 and 2009.
Yeah.
Here's another one. We had an opportunity to buy a bookstore here in town.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of an opportunity. And we didn't have the money to do it. They didn't want to own or carry. They just wanted out of it. But I was doing due diligence and I was trying to figure out how much we could make doing that. And I think we went to your parents and kind of asked them if they wanted to be investors.
Well, we had all the financials.
Yeah. And they said no, which was weird because your parents have always been like, we've never really asked them for money. They did help us out with a short-term loan buying our very first house.
Yeah. Which we paid back in like
3 months.
3 months. Yeah.
I think they loaned us, for legal reasons, they gave it to us. They gave us the money, but we paid them back right away. But yeah, they said no. And looking back, I am so thankful.
I wasn't upset that they said no
I wasn't
either.
upset either. I mean, I was maybe like slightly disappointed because I thought it would be fun. And you know what? I think we could have made a go of it. We never would have been...
We've never done YouTube.
You don't get wealthy owning a bookstore in a small town.
Especially now.
Yeah. So, but I think we could have made it cool and we could have found a way to make it work. I think that, I'm pretty confident that we could have made it a fun place and we would have been bringing people in for one reason or another. But still, it would have been a ton of work. It would have been a ton of work and really almost no upside,
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing that you do because you love it.
Right. It's a passion project.
It's a passion project.
Yeah.
It's not because you want to retire off of it.
Right.
It's almost more of a hobby. It's like if one person is a doctor and the other person wants to be a bookstore owner,
might work out a little bit easier.
You can make that work.
Yeah. Yeah. If we were both doing it. Yeah. It would have been interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tia said, hey guys, how's it going? Music to my ears. I love every video on both channels. So is Benjamin getting a bird? You guys, I was raised with birds in the house, and even my mom now is like, oh, I don't know why. Like, it was horrible. I hated having birds, and I swore, not the birds themselves, it was just the whole ambiance of the situation. They are loud, they are messy, they don't really give back like a dog or a cat does, and I don't think Benjamin's at an age where he can make that kind of a decision and commitment, and I'm not doing anything with bird. Like, there are a lot of things I would do for my kids, but having birds in the house, and I think you would be like... Oh, yeah. Yeah. When he is older, and like if he wants a bird for a lot of years, and he's ready for that kind of a commitment...
Maybe when he's older.
Possibly, yeah. But I don't think
it's good either for parents to just fulfill every whim of their child.
No. Say this is something you can look forward to in your future home.
Yeah.
Like find a person that you want to be with that also likes birds and wants to keep birds. That is the goal. Yeah. Auntie Gliz said, wonderful video about Samantha being athletic. I was amazed when she was helping with the pumpkin harvest and threw a mini pumpkin what looked like about 12 feet to your dad, and spot on. That girl has an arm. That is the truth. Question, do I remember correctly, Laura, that you played softball? I did not play softball. I played soccer. I was a soccer person all through the years of growing up. I didn't really play other sports. I dabbled in volleyball and basketball, but I was never really that great at either one of those. But Samantha has potential. So we'll encourage her in whatever direction
She's fast.
Yeah.
She has really good hand-eye coordination.
Yes.
She can catch.
She's
she can throw.
tough.
Yeah, and she's tough.
Yeah.
She's
kind of a brute.
yeah.
Like she can, I don't know, Benjamin's so tender. I mean, he could overtake her if he wanted to, I think, but he would never.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gentle. Lori said, I can't wait for my Coralberry bubble gum to see how long the berries stay on. This is my first winter with it, and it does have a ton of berries. Do they bloom on new wood? So safe to trim the bush in the spring. Yes, and you want to trim it harder than you are comfortable with. Trust me. So we cut our coral berries back to 12 inches every year, and it doesn't feel right. You're cutting into this like seasoned wood, it feels like and looks like, but it produces its berries on new wood. So you cut it back, cut any like real thin wispy branches, leave the really good looking ones, and then they just explode again. It's crazy how quickly they grow. Zachary said, odd question, but I was curious. Do you guys have a special insurance policy for your garden, or is it a standard homeowners? You guys have cultivated an amazing space. I hate the idea of an unavoidable disaster to take it all away.
It's not a regular homeowner. It's like a farm policy of some kind. I don't actually know like all the nitty gritty of exactly what it is, but we do have insurance, but I do need to reevaluate it at some point because I feel like we're maybe paying for some things that we don't need to be paying for.
Also, fortunately in our area, we're pretty isolated in terms of any kind of disasters happening.
Fire's not going to go through.
We
We're
don't
too
have
spread
tornadoes.
out.
We don't really get a lot of flooding. I mean, we're too high.
It's impossible here.
Yeah. I mean, we'll get like puddles when we get big rainstorms, but you know, it's not like flooding. Yeah, we're pretty protected in the area we're at.
Well, people can see like we're up on a hill. So like the north side of our property, it goes down 30 or 40 feet or 50 feet. And then that's where the river is down there. So it could flood down there.
Yeah,
but
we'd be protected from it.
Wouldn't. I mean, the amount of water it would take to get up 40 feet.
That would be scary.
Because it'd have to fill all that. It'd be like
it'd be like a Noah's Ark sort of flood.
Yeah.
We need to build us
end of the
ark.
world sort of situation.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, so in answer to the question, yes, we have insurance. It's just like a farm policy, you know, and it covers our house in case it were to burn down, or that's really the only thing I feel like that, or a microburst could cause some damage.
And the last question is from Danny. For the silver ornaments, how about plating them in white gold?
I don't know anything about white gold.
I don't either. My wedding ring's white gold.
Yeah.
That I don't wear.
Ken was telling me that he's already has samples on the way for us to look at.
Silver?
Yeah, of silver.
Good.
Like they're shipping.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
See, that's when you should be working on next year's Christmas stuff, is when you're like still in it this year.
I think what he did is he just asked them to send a sample of our current ornaments in like plated in
Oh, and then we can show a side by side and be like, what do you guys like? Who would want this? Let's do a poll and let's figure out.
Yeah, you can see.
Yeah,
well,
the interest.
That's what he was saying, is that next year, we keep talking about how if we do a pre-order, I think that's the right way to go. And also it's really difficult for us because we're not going to know how many people are going to be interested in the ornaments. Did not sell equally, by the way. Like it wasn't like people bought all 5. There were some that were.
Echinacea was number 1.
Echinacea was number 1 by a long shot. And so when you're ordering, you can't buy an equal amount of all of them. You want to buy more of the ones that people like more. So doing a pre-order will help us as well. But it's going to get even more complicated when we have the 2025 collection and the 2026 collection.
Some in silver.
We have both of them
some
in
gold.
Silver and gold.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You'll have to bear with us. Yeah, you'll have to bear with us while we do our learning. Sorry, you guys have to be the guinea pigs.
But you don't want to be stuck with a ton of ornaments that nobody really wants and isn't buying.
Yeah. And with that, you guys, that is the end of our recap video. Thank you so much for all the questions. Thank you for all of it. We really appreciate it. And we hope you're having a great start to your week, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.